Hi guys, and it's time for my reading wrap up for January. I didn't feel like I got very much read in January, but actually now that I've come to the end of it, I'm quite pleased with what I did get read. I had a good month in that I enjoyed what I read. So I'll start with the first book that I finished, and that was Sweet Hope by Tilly Cole. This is the third book in her Sweet Home series, and I absolutely loved this one. I've mentioned before how I kind of have read them out of order somewhat, but I enjoyed the first one. I enjoyed the 1.5 novella, and I loved the second one and the fourth one, and I loved this one as well. And this is sort of about the brother, the Carrillo brother, that's kind of like the black sheep. He is the oldest, and he's done a lot of things in his life that he's not proud of. But it was an excellent book. I do recommend picking it up. A few people have asked me if you can read them out of order like I did, and I think that you can, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would say go in the order that they are meant to be read in. You don't have to. I think particularly maybe with this one and the third one, maybe it wouldn't matter so much, but I would just go with it in the order that it's supposed to be. But absolutely loved this one. 5 out of 5 stars. Then a book that took up an awful lot of my January was Winter by Marissa Meyer. As you can see, it got extremely beat up reading this. I'm tracking to and from work with this in my bag, and with it being an absolutely massive book, it kind of got ruined. Luckily I do have another copy of this on my shelf. This, I had my eye on it because obviously it came out in November, and I've seen lots of people sort of read it and enjoy it. And I've tried to avoid it as much as possible for spoiler reasons. Normally I'm not too bothered by spoilers. I know a lot of people freak out, but if I'm in the mood, I will want a spoiler, which I know makes me very strange. But I wanted to avoid it because it was the final book in the series and it was so big. I worried that I would get, if I got spoiled, that I would lose interest in reading it. And I enjoyed this a lot, but there were books in the series that I preferred over this. I'm not going to say I didn't love it, because I did really enjoy it. I loved seeing all the characters again that we've obviously grown to love, seeing how it progresses, and it was a really good, satisfying end. But there were times when I wanted it to be more mind-blowing than it was. I wanted my mind to be completely blown, and it wasn't for the most part. This is a huge book, and a lot happens, and you have to be in the right mood to read this, because there's obviously we've got a fairly large-ish cast of characters that we're now following. We get all their different points of view, which is good. I like that. But they start off as a group, and obviously then they split up into different groups, and they come back, then they split off into different groups, then things happen. Like, you've got to be able to follow where people are, and it's quite a mission. But I really enjoyed it. Not my favourite book in the series, but I am looking forward to Stars Above, sort of the little novellas and the epilogue. So overall, really enjoyed it and gave it 4.5 out of 5. The next book that I read was An Ounce of Hope by Sophie Jackson. This is the next book in the Pound of Flesh series. It's sort of a adult contemporary romance series where each book follows different people. I really loved the first book. If you've been following my channel for a while, you might have seen when I read A Pound of Flesh, which is the first book, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was incredible. So I was really looking forward to this one. This one was good, but it was not as good as the first book. If you enjoy adult romance, I would highly recommend picking up these books. They remind me, if you like, let's think, Samantha Young, Who else? I did have a whole list of people in my head to compare this to. But it's just really, really good. It's for an adult contemporary series. It's not cheesy. It's just really, really well done. Highly recommend these. If you've liked my recommendation of Tilly Cole's books, I don't like. Tilly Cole is like on a complete pedestal for me. Like, there's no one now that I like as much as her. But if you've picked up on my recommendation of Tilly Cole, you might well enjoy these as well. But I enjoyed this one. Didn't enjoy it quite as much as Pound of Flesh, but still really enjoyed reading it and thought it was worth picking up. And I look forward to seeing this series continued. So I gave this one 4 out of 5. And then the next book that I read was on my Kindle, and it was Graysons Bow by Mia Sheridan. I've had my eye on this one for a little while. I absolutely love Mia Sheridan. Again, she's one of those authors that if I would compare to like my love of Tilly Cole and like Sophie Jackson, like that kind of thing. I've read quite a few of Mia Sheridan's books now and really, really enjoyed them. My favourite of hers, though, remains Archer's Voice. I haven't enjoyed anything by her as much as Archer's Voice, but Grayson's Vow was really good. Again, it's another sort of adult contemporary romance, and it's about this man called Grayson and this girl called Kira. She's like 22, he's like 28. I don't know why their ages stick in my mind, but they do. And basically they meet when Kira overhears Grayson in the bank being rejected for a loan. He wants to get his father's vineyard back up and running, but because he's been in prison, no one will really give him the bank loan, and the vineyard isn't worth enough to sort of get the loan for it. So she overhears that, and she comes up with an idea. Basically, the next day she appears at his house and proposes to him because she has a trust fund that when she's married, the money will get released, and she's saying basically, let's have a marriage of convenience. We can split the money. It will solve your problem and it will solve her problems, because her father wants to sort of control her and put her in some sort of political marriage kind of thing. So just to get married, just to sort of, split the money, do their own thing. But obviously it's not quite as simple as that, and things happen, and I really, really enjoyed it. I read it in like 2 days, I think. I just blazed through it, absolutely loved it. It was just a really, really fun read that I really, really, really loved. Really enjoy Mia Sheridan's books, and I'm looking forward to reading another book by her that comes out in March. And then the last book that I read, I actually finished today, which is Sunday, and that's Until Friday Night by Abby Glines. This is the first book in her, I think it's an actual young adult series, and what was it called? The Field Party, I think the series is called. And I didn't hate this, but I didn't love this. It's very middle of the road for me. I would probably give it half marks, because I just didn't feel really anything while reading it. It was just all right, but I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. Like these two characters like fall in love in like the space of a couple of weeks, and they just both have their issues, but they didn't. I don't feel like the grieving process was handled very well in this book at all. It just had a lot of issues for me. I didn't believe in the characters very much. Things for me got a little bit weird. And I didn't really like how the main male character in this book sort of treated girls, but then there's this the one girl, Maggie, is like put on a pedestal and she's amazing and all this, but like you're told things but you're not really shown them, if you know what I mean, when it comes to these characters. But it was an okay read. I didn't really know what else I wanted to read, so I picked this up, and I could have liked it a little bit better, but I just didn't. So yeah, half marks for that one. So that's everything that I read in January. Off to a good start. Really glad that I got the 800 page winter read. Quite proud of that. So yeah, that's everything that I read now, guys. If you've read any of these books and enjoyed them, let me know in the comments down below. Or even if you haven't enjoyed them, let's discuss it in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all soon. Happy reading.